With another crazy week of college football going by, Week 12 was one of the craziest, if not the craziest one yet. It had more potential of being a crazier week, but a few teams that in the top 5 survived, and they got through the storm. And today is my top 25 predictions heading into rivalry week, week 13. And I've been off college football videos for a little bit, so please hit like button, subscribe, comment down below if you want me to keep making these videos. I love doing them. I just don't have a lot of free time. But I'm back at it, and this one took a lot of time, so hit the like button. At number 25, I have the South Carolina Gamecocks. They handled business and took down number 5, Tennessee. They absolutely demolished them, and the game was never really close. They scored on their first 5 drives, and it was an upright beating, and South Carolina controlled the whole game. At number 24, we have the Oregon State Beavers. They're surprisingly a really good team this year, and I'd say they have a shot at taking it against Oregon. They handled business, and they're now in the rankings. I could easily see them being a top 20 team at the end of the year, making a good bowl game, and Oregon State is a surprisingly good team. At number 23, we have the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. They game got canceled because of the Virginia team after all the players' death, but Coastal Carolina still is 8-1. And number 22, we have Texas. Texas handled business, and Texas has been an up-and-down team this year. They can't win the big ones, but they're always right there in them. They've lost to Kansas State. They've lost to TCU. They've lost to Alabama. They've lost to good teams. At number 21 is another team that's taken the league by storm, and that is the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane took care of business at SMU, winning 59-21. I mean, they're the second-best team in the group of 5, and they could go to the Cotton Bowl. At number 20, you have the Ole Miss Rebels. They got straight punched in the face by Arkansas. Was never a close game, 42-6 at halftime. Ole Miss played absolutely horrible, but I think they're going to get it back on track versus Mississippi State, which would be a quality win, so Mississippi State's pretty good. At number 19, you have North Carolina. Like I said, another team that took a punch right to the face versus an unranked Georgia Tech team. I had hype for North Carolina. I thought they were really, really good, and they had a chance at beating Clemson. But after this game, it shows you that Drake May is not as good as everyone thought he really was. At number 18, you have the Cincinnati Bearcats. I think Cincinnati's the best team out of the group of 5. They went to the playoffs last year. They're 8-2. They're 9-2. They're a really good team, and Cincinnati's going to win the conference, and they're going to go to the Cotton Bowl. At number 17, we have UCLA. They were in a competitive game with USC the whole time. They took it down in the final second. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, their quarterback, didn't really help them out that much, though. At number 16, we have the Utah Utes. They also lost to a 12th-ranked Oregon team. They could have won, and they started off really, really slow. I think Utah is a better team, but they just didn't do anything right. At number 15, we have the Florida State Seminoles. This might be one of the most craziest surprises in college football this year. I thought it was going to happen, but I thought they were going to be like a top 50 team and not really. They were going to be over 500 bowl eligible, but they're taking it by storm. At number 14, we have the second-best team in the Big 12, the Kansas State. Kansas State has literally improved on every single ball. Deuce Vaughn's a stud, and Adrian Martinez is a stud when healthy. This team could go to the Sugar Bowl. At number 13, we have Washington Huskies. I thought they were going to be really, really good this year. I thought they were going to be a college football playoff contention. They kind of failed that for me, but they're still really, really good, hanging on to the number 13 spot. They have knocked off Oregon, and they did lose to UCLA, which is the game that put them out. At number 12, we have Notre Dame. Notre Dame has completely came back. They started at 0-2, and now they only have 3 losses. They've knocked off Clemson, and Notre Dame's a surprising team this year in college football. At number 12. At number 11, we have the Oregon Ducks. Oregon knocked off number 10 Utah in the past weekend, 20-17. Oregon is still not as good as I thought they were really, really good, but that game versus Washington ruined it for me. I thought Oregon was college football playoff material. At number 10, we have Tennessee, who got absolutely stomped by South Carolina. South Carolina just took them all the way to the limit. I thought Tennessee was good. I knew they weren't really a top 5 team, but that was horrible. At number 9, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions. They took handle of business, 55-10 versus Rutgers. And if Penn State is not ranked higher than Tennessee on the college football playoff rankings, I will be raged, bro. That's insane. And at number 8, we have the Alabama Crimson Tide. And everyone knows how good Alabama really is. They've slipped up some. They only beat Austin Peay by 34, which is kind of embarrassing. At number 7, we have the Clemson Tigers. Clemson is still good, even after the loss to Notre Dame. At the beginning of the year, I put a bet that Clemson was going to win the national championship, but DJU is getting them nowhere. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. And at number 6, we have the LSU Tigers. If LSU can knock off Georgia in the college football playoff, they'll end up taking a college football playoff spot, I think. But I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to drop down. At number 5, we have USC, who probably picked up the biggest win, one of the biggest wins in program history, by knocking off number 16 UCLA. Y'all don't know how big of a win that really was. At number 4, we have TCU, who survived a close call, but they still are undefeated, and they're still going to be the Big 12 champions, and no question in my mind. TCU is rolling. At number 3, we have a team that also had a close call, and I thought was going to lose for over half the game, and that's Michigan. Michigan has come into the big house. They have to go into the shoe to play Ohio State, their biggest rivalry, which Ohio State is next on the list. Number 2, it's gonna decide who is going to the college football playoff in the next game and the biggest rivalry in college football. They must both sneak in. Ohio State barely beat Maryland, though. At number 1, we have the Georgia Bulldogs, coming off a surprisingly very close game versus Kentucky. I didn't like how close it was the whole entire game. I thought Georgia was going to win by a lot more, but it wasn't the case. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below if you think of my rankings here. What are your top 25 rankings? I'll keep coming out with more college football content. Guys, over the offseason of college football, I'll be absolutely grinding the whole entire year. I'm more of an offseason kind of guy, and I do all these videos during the offseason. Hope you enjoyed it. See y'all in the next one. And let me know y'all's predictions for the Ohio State-Michigan game. It might be the biggest college football game in the history of football.